Hey Cubs, what's going on? It's Coach James here, along with my buddy
JJ.
And we were kind of bummed because tonight was supposed to be our first Little League practice, and then I thought maybe we can still do a little bit of practice, each of us in our own backyards. So JJ and I are here this afternoon to show you guys some things that you can practice with your parents or by yourself or with your siblings in your own backyard to get ready for what will hopefully be the start of baseball season in a little bit. So JJ and I are going to show you a throwing drill and a batting stance and some batting drills that you can do in your own backyard to practice. So the first drill we're going to do is, you can see over here, JJ and I have put a target on the side of the garage. Now this can be any flat surface, but you don't want any windows around. So the side of a garage, the back of the house, or the garage door, depending what ball you're going to use. Today JJ and I are just using a spongy rubber ball, which won't hurt anybody or break anything, but it's got similar weight to the baseballs that we use, so it kind of gets you used to the feel of the baseballs we use. If your parents have any questions, you can email me. I'd be happy to try to give everybody one of these if they want one or if they don't have one before we can actually start practicing. So we're just using that here, and what we've done is, JJ, put your glove on. We've set up a target. And the reason we've set up the target this way is because this is going to be about the throwing zones for players at our age level. So JJ, come stand next to me, buddy.
Okay.
Now I think JJ might be a little bit on the short end for some of the kids in the league, so it's a little off, but here's where the zones are. The ideal spot you want to practice throwing is so that it's between the belly button and the eyeballs of the person you're throwing it to. So, just assuming JJ's a little shorter, that's kind of about where this middle range is. This top range is a throw that JJ can probably catch, but it's in the area where it's close to going over his head. So JJ, reach your hand up. So he can still catch that, but we don't want to be routinely throwing it over his head like that. Same thing with the throws down here. This is going to be throws that you probably have to bend down for, which is okay.
Like you still bend down when you're a catcher, but you have to like really squat down.
Right, and we're not doing catcher stuff. We're pretending you're the first baseman. So, we can play a little game with this. What this game is, the zone in the middle where we want our throws to go, and this is just blue painter's tape I found in the basement. These can be worth 2 points. If it goes in the top or the bottom, those can be worth 1 point. So, the first game we're going to play with it.
Outside, it's 0.
Right, if it goes outside, it's worth 0. So the first thing you could do is just walk off, take 10 steps. My steps are a little bigger, so I'm only going to take 6. Take 10 steps. Right here, Jake, come on. And then we're going to practice the proper way to throw it. So I'm a lefty, so this is going to look backwards, so I'm going to throw it right-handed. So, when I'm going to throw, JJ, do it with me, all right? The things we want to practice us doing: pointing at our target with our glove, reaching the ball all the way back in our hand with those nice bunny ears on top, stepping towards our target, and keeping our chin up. Notice when we're throwing the ball, we're keeping our eyes on our target the whole time. That'll help make sure the ball goes nice and straight.
And this is what not to do.
Right, if you dip your head down like that, the ball's just gonna go straight to the ground. So the 3 things you always want to remember are the classic point, step, throw with their head up. Okay? So, a couple different ways you can do this drill. You can do this by just trying to get, say, 3 in a row inside the blue box somewhere. Or, if you want to challenge your parents or your brother or your sister, you could each take 5 throws and add up your points. Remember, 2 points for the middle, 1 point for the top, or 1 point for the bottom. So JJ, just show them a couple throws and hopefully you get at least 1 in the box. Alright, that was a good throw. That would have been worth 1 point, right?
Yeah.
Alright, try one more. Make sure you point, step, and throw. Keep your eye on the target. Good. Okay, so that's the first distance. JJ hit his first 2 throws in the box. One way you can play it is try to get 5 in a row, then step back a little bit. Then take 3 more steps back. This will get you used to throwing at the same target, whether you're really close to someone or really far from someone. Alright? So those are 2 drills you can do with throwing. Now this drill can also be done to practice ground balls if you have a sponge ball and a hard garage door. Because watch, if JJ's not trying to throw in the box, he's getting ready position fielding. I can throw it and he's probably a little too close, but you can get ground ball. So JJ, take a couple steps back. Yep. Now he can do it to himself too. Yep. Get it. See? If you want, you can practice your throws and your ground balls at the same time. Ball. All right, so there's our throwing drills. So now JJ is also going to show us some backyard batting drills we can do. So put your glove down, buddy. Take your hand up. So we have two different types of bats here. For actually hitting the baseball, obviously we're going to be using the standard wiffle ball. But if you have a parent that can supervise you and a helmet you can use, you can practice using your real bat too, just getting the mechanics of the swing stance and getting the good swing down.
I really need batting tape on that bat.
So, this is just the bottom base of the tee that we have, and we're going to use this for our home plate. So, anybody that had me last year knows that I like to practice before we even put a bats in our hands. I like to practice putting our helmet on and getting our good proper batting stance. And I have 3 keys to try to make sure you're in the good proper batting stance, and then a test I like to do too. So, the first thing we do, JJ, when we get our proper batting stance, we want to get our feet nice and wide, a little bit wider than shoulder width, right? Put the hands down. Okay? So our feet are nice and wide, a little bit wider than shoulder width, and we get a little bit of bend in our knees. We don't want to bend down too much like we're playing catcher or we're sitting down.
I'm a potty.
And we definitely don't want to have our knees straight up like we're some sort of palm tree, because you're never going to be able to balance that way. So I always come around and I give kids a test to make sure their knees are a little bent and their feet are nice and wide.
Daddy,
What?
test me when I'm straight up.
We'll do that later. All right, so show me the right way first, okay? So he's got his knees bent and his toes are pointing right at home plate. If you don't have a home plate, you can put a stick down, you can put a glove down, but anything to simulate where you want your toes pointing in the right direction. And then without a bat in his hand, for these are for righties, you're going to want to put your bat on your right shoulder and pick it straight up. So your imaginary bat on your right shoulder, pick it straight up. If you're a lefty like me, you do the same thing, but you put your bat on the left shoulder, pick it straight up. All right, JJ's back elbow is a little too high right now. But see how JJ's got his back elbow up, his bat's just right off his right shoulder, and he's still got his knees bent and his toes pointed towards home plate. So the test that we like to do to make sure you're in a proper batting position is I walk by and I give him a little push right on his chest. And if he's in proper batting position and balance, he's not going to go anywhere. Now, JJ, show me what happened if your knees were straight, locked straight, and your weight was on your heels. Okay, so he's leaning backwards, and even if I touch him, see, he can't stand still. It's going to be very hard to hit a baseball if you're not properly balanced.
Especially when you're right here now.
Yep, so if we keep our balanced position, and we have our imaginary bat here ready to go, we're in the best balanced position. We will take a swing wherever the pitch comes in. So, again, if one of your parents are with you and you have a bat you want to practice and your helmet's on, you can use your real bat to get used to swinging an actual bat. If you don't have one, a wiffle ball is perfect, or a wiffle ball bat. Now JJ's just going to take, without hitting the ball, he's going to show me his good stance. That doesn't look like it. Bat off the shoulder. And he's going to take 3 good swings, keeping his back elbow up nice and level. Go. So, for those of you that might have played rookie last year, you know that the coach pitched or there was a tee. Now, we don't have that luxury in A-ball. There's a machine that pitches. And the biggest difference with that is that the coach can't aim for exactly where your bat is. The machine just goes where it goes. So that's why the proper batting stance and the proper batting balance is going to be the easiest way to help you guys hit the pitch if it comes in a little bit lower or a little bit higher than you like it. So, JJ just is practicing level swings every time right now. Level. Go. He's keeping his chin down and his eye right on the pitcher the whole time, okay? So, if you want to actually hit the ball, I certainly wouldn't recommend hitting with a real baseball bat in your backyard unless you have a really, really big backyard or no neighbors. So we're going to use just a tee and a wiffle ball.
And if you go back,
Yep. And we can kind of use our same target over here. parents, if you want some of these balls, I have a bunch of these, and I'd be happy to clean them off and give each kid their own ball if they don't have any wiffle balls to practice with. Because I have a big bag of them that you can get online. So, JJ's going to still practice the right way to stand in the right spot against the tee. And the way you can do this, go ahead and swing. It's the same thing with the batter's box. If you hit it in here, that's worth 2 points. 1 point, 1.0 points.
And by the way, that hit me.
You might want to take a step back with it. But the point of the drill is that just like with throws, all of the best hits are going to hit this batter's box right in the middle there. Line drives on everything. So you can do the same thing. You can just try to get so you get 5 in a row into the box anywhere, or you can take 5 swings and add how many points you can get. Remember, if it goes up here or down there, it's 0. We want to practice nice level swings. Go ahead, buddy. That would have been 0, right? You know why? You pulled your foot. So you can do this without anybody helping you, or you can have one of your parents help you set it up. Just make sure if you have someone setting it up, you don't swing when they're still there, right? All right, here you go. The other thing you want to try and do is make sure to get 5 in a row without hitting the tee like JJ's did on that one. Right? Okay. So, those are a couple games you can play with just a tee, with throwing, or if you want, you can have your parents help pitch you some wiffle balls in the backyard. Maybe next week I'll do another video and we'll work on some other drills, but those should be 3 good ones to keep you warm. The weather's beautiful outside this weekend, so hopefully everybody's going to be able to get out and enjoy it in their own backyards with their families.
Go Cubs!
JJ says go Cubs, and we really look forward to seeing you guys hopefully soon, and I hope everybody's doing well. And let's see if we can enjoy some baseball.
Cubs!
Go Cubs!